this is a crucial juncture in the development of economic ties between the two countries. We've seen in the past several years a very significant rise in mutual trade. Now this trade by the end of last year amounted to almost $70 billion. The way to address this is to exploit all of the opportunities that are out there in mutual trade, and not all of the opportunities, I believe, are fully exploited. Indeed, the imbalance in mutual trade has been voiced as an issue, as a concern by India. This is not just an imbalance with Russia, this is an imbalance with some of the other BRICS economies that needs to be evaluated.
Yaroslav, thank you very much for speaking with ANI. I'll begin by asking you, President Putin has arrived in India. It is his first visit after the Russia-Ukraine war. First of all, how do you see this visit by President Putin? And Prime Minister Modi went personally to the airport to receive him. So how do you see the visit, and how do you look at Russia-India relationship?
Well, first of all, I think this is a crucial juncture in the development of economic ties between the two countries. We've seen in the past several years a very significant rise in mutual trade and trade turnover, and now this trade by the end of last year amounted to almost $70 billion, and that's a very significant rise compared to the preceding years. But there's clearly substantial scope for further growth, and actually we see that policymakers in both countries are looking into setting more ambitious goals for mutual trade, and some of the goals that have been thrown around in the past months have been close to $100 billion as the mutual trade target for the two countries, and that I think is very much feasible. There's tremendous potential and unexploited opportunities. We see that both countries are starting to cooperate more actively in various international fora, whether this is the G20 or the BRICS, and this cooperation is very productive. We see that this cooperation is giving significant results in terms of trade, in terms of investment, in terms of the overall spirit of economic cooperation, even though relations between India and Russia, and in the past the Soviet Union, have always been friendly. There's always the possibility to further improve the past track record, and certainly we're seeing that in terms of numbers, but also in qualitative terms. We're seeing that this relationship between the two countries is developing very productively, very constructively.
Yeah, and both leaders have also set the target of $100 billion by 2030, I believe. And, there is Russian goods currently dominate Indian shelves because they sell more to India than they buy. And the Kremlin is now actively looking to correct this imbalance. How do you think this can happen?
Well, I think the way to address this is to exploit all of the opportunities that are out there in mutual trade, and not all of the opportunities, I believe, are fully exploited. Indeed, the imbalance in mutual trade has been voiced as an issue, as a concern by India, actually several months ago, when there was an extraordinary meeting of BRICS economies. And this was one of the very important statements that was delivered by India. And I think certainly whether this is in academic circles, and researchers have to explore this issue, because this is not just an imbalance with Russia, this is an imbalance with some of the other BRICS economies that needs to be evaluated. And I think some of the possible solutions include mutual trade liberalization, the possibility to look into greater presence of Indian goods in the markets of BRICS economies, whether this is agriculture, whether this is pharmaceuticals or other types of exports that are very strong and very important coming from India. But another sphere that I think may be quite important and that hasn't been really targeted to a greater degree before is services and the possibility to cooperate and trade in the services sector, including in areas that have to do with IT, with AI related services. I think during this visit already, the Russian president has already indicated that AI cooperation could be an important area. And certainly we know that both in India and in Russia, there are a lot of very qualified specialists in this field that are actually in demand in quite a lot of the countries across the globe. And there is tremendous scope for cooperation in such areas. I think that that can, to some degree, to a significant degree, I believe, even out these imbalances. I think these imbalances, to a significant degree, they reflect the lack of still a low base. Let's put it this way: low base in terms of the overall volume of trade and the degree to which the trade opportunities are being exploited. There is a lot more that could be done on both sides.
Mm-hmm. And Russian President Vladimir Putin has also said that BRICS is not currently considering the introduction of a single currency for the bloc. He said, there is no need for haste, and that could lead to serious mistakes, by citing example of the European Union's adoption of the euro. So, how do you look at that?
Well, I think at this stage, at this juncture, I would agree that the focus should probably not be on the BRICS single currency, and the focus should certainly be on trade between BRICS countries that is undertaken with the use of national currencies. And certainly, I think Russia and other BRICS economies are very much open to expanding the set of channels through which the trade is conducted with the use of national currencies. I think development institutions, including the new Development Bank of BRICS, could play a role in boosting the use of national currencies. I think India, next year during its BRICS chairmanship, in terms of advancing the agenda of the use of national currencies and mutual trade. And one of the possible solutions could be the initiative that was coming from Russia back in 2024, when Russia proposed a system of trans-border, transnational settlements of national currencies. That initiative perhaps could be explored in greater depth and discussed by the BRICS economies in 2026 when India takes over as the chair in BRICS.
Right. And what message do you think President Putin's visit sends about the current state of India-Russia economic relationship, especially amid global geopolitical shifts and given Trump tariffs?
Well, I think it's very clear. I think this relationship is going in the right direction. We see it in the numbers. We see it again in the atmosphere in which this summit is taking place. This is a very cordial relationship that has a rich history of the past decades of constructive economic cooperation. And despite whatever changes have swept across the globe, have affected both India and Russia and the Soviet Union, this relationship is developing at a fast clip. And I think this summit could be yet another milestone in terms of new initiatives, in terms of new measures that are directed at further deepening and broadening this very constructive relationship I think, for the global economy as well, not just for the two sides, but also for the broader economy, for the global South, for BRICS. I think this is very important that this relationship is developing in the constructive way in which it has been throughout all of these years.